I want to digress right now about the city that we live in, because global warming is having a major effect on tides and currents and storms in the ocean and in the Gulf. And that's what's happening right now in the state of Texas, and it looks like it's going to hit Louisiana. And it was absolutely surreal to watch those pictures of airplanes in Houston, Texas, completely submerged in water. The airport is crazy. So here's my question, guys. The city of Toronto, I'm sure you guys know, has had huge water levels in Lake Ontario. In fact, Center Island, half of it was submerged, or a good chunk of it. Wards Island, all the islands, all the docks are completely underwater. The water level has risen, and that's as it's catastrophic what's going on. As the icebergs are continuously melting in the North Pole, trillions and trillions of gallons of water are being dumped, and it's just fucking up the whole ecosystem and the functionality of the weather. So Toronto, has issues right now. I wonder if they're prepared, because looking at Texas, all the levees are being breached. How did they engineer these for? I would say that the levees are extremely conservative. If they can't handle the worst case scenario, it's absolutely tragic. And to see all these people stuck, and I mean, it's incredible how a lot of people have come together, and they're supplying their boats, they're supplying their houses, and trying to help everybody. But it's unfucking believable, and the hypocrisy of Vice President Pence is mind-boggling to me. Because in Hurricane Katrina, he didn't want to spend one fucking cent. Did you know that, guys?
I did not.
Yeah, he didn't want to fucking spend a cent. And that was also unbelievably disastrous and a tragic event. So, what do you guys think? Do you think Toronto's, if we have something as catastrophic as what happened in, New Orleans and what's going on in Texas, do you think we're prepared for it here in Toronto?
Well, I don't know for that kind of a storm, Frank. I don't think that if we got that, we wouldn't be in a similar position.
No, but our sewers and our waterway system. I mean, the city of Toronto's much younger than Houston, Texas, and I think that plays in your favor. Terry, don't you think that's logical?
No, because this is an extraordinary flood. It's not a minor. It's a flood of enormous proportions. I don't think any city could possibly handle this. So Toronto as being a younger, modern, whatever city, however you want to describe it, no. Toronto could not handle this because it is beyond reason. It's beyond normal. It's a functionality.
So let's backtrack to New Orleans. The soothsayers and the engineers and scientists were telling the government over and over and over that the system that they had with the erosion of the shores, of the erosion of the walls, that if a good storm came in, it would have been catastrophic. And so they knew ahead of time. So don't you think those warnings from very capable people, engineers and scientists, politicians need to stop fucking around with the lives of people?
Frank, if you're gonna start to bulletproof your cities for this type of thing, it's going to cost an enormous amount of money. You're going to have to run it through the tax situation to basically prepare people for something that may or may not happen. Even if you're trying to do the best for the city, you're going to put the burden on the taxpayer.
Fair enough, but what I'm saying is the evidence is compelling. And here in our city, Toronto, which is on the shore, built on, we are a port city. That's why Toronto became so big. It's the water levels continuously go higher and higher and higher. Some experts say that some of the islands will be submerged eventually.
Yeah, I mean, Toronto Island, look at the floods that happened earlier this year.
I just said that 10 minutes ago, John. I just told you that all the docks are submerged.
Right, but
submerged.
And the island, you couldn't get to and fro from the island until last week or so. That's a little disconcerting, guys. You're right.
And that was that.
And to prepare for that, when in fact we all listened, it was going to be Corpus Christi that was going to get banged, and Houston appeared to be not immune, but certainly in a safe place. They didn't.
Well, I agree, but you know, Bill, better than I do, weather is schizophrenic. It's bipolar. And, you know, depending where the currents are, whatever, it could be heading, and then in a split second, it makes a U-turn.
I agree. Oh, no, and history bears you out, Frank.
Yeah, and it won't leave. It could get even worse. How many
Well,
inches?
there's more winds coming in. I mean, it's almost like the fucking typhoon that's hitting Mumbai right now.
Yeah, I know. It just won't stop raining. Now I've got a godson who's. You know, when people say he's no rocket scientist, he's actually a rocket scientist, and he's in Houston. He's got some power. You know, his phone's okay. He's, you know, it's not like the flooding. You know, the really heartbreaking photo was where there was woman in the old folks' home, the retirement village, with water up to their waist. They finally got him out today. There's a nice picture on the internet, but that was just terrible.
I'm just saying to you that I think that all cities that are near. Very close to large bodies of water, better rethink the systems they have in place right now because they are outdated.
Yeah, look at that shot.
Like Houston, Texas, just as Bill said, they didn't move the planes or anything. It's catastrophic. I can't even fucking imagine the insurance claims where I saw at least 15 to 20 planes completely submerged.
And they said last night that the zoo is within 12 inches of going over the fence. And that means the alleys and the crocks will be coming out.
Yeah. I saw a shot of a freaking great white shark on a highway in Houston today.
Yeah. I didn't see that, but I heard about it.
Shark swimming right there. Maybe Andrew can pick the photo up. But, oh, my God. And is it going to get worse? It's not going to stop raining, right? Until...
Well, I mean, I think it's going to get worse before it gets better, but eventually it's going to stop.
Yeah, and move out.
It was just like Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah.
You know, it seemed like it was going to go forever, and it eroded, and basically it destroyed and annihilated. It was catastrophic what happened to New Orleans.
Yeah.
But New Orleans
You got
recovered.
hit with a surge, I think, Frank, more than what has hit in Texas. The thing that's really killed Texas is the continuous rainfall from the storm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the battering, yep.
Mm-hmm.
At the surge and broke the dikes, and it was catastrophic.
Yeah, and the storm.
You know, I'm just listening to experts. I'm not an engineer. They're saying that the levees are very low compared to, you know, knowledge. And the thing is, the reason for this incredible massive flooding is that the levees are being breached and the water is flowing right through.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened in New Orleans right away.
Yeah.
The levees were breached immediately from the surge.
Right. And they went...
But Bill, they knew it. They fucking knew it. In fact, that the Army was there before the storm throwing, you know, bags of sand all around, but they already knew. And they've been told for at least 10 years prior to that incredibly disastrous hurricane, Katrina, that almost wiped New Orleans off the face of the earth. And they were told that whatever, and it went through 2 or 3 administrations. You can't just blame one administration, and they just fucking closed their eyes to it.